Have you ever lived next door to someone you never actually saw? For 6 months, Emily Carter lived in apartment 4A of an old brick building in Chicago. And for 6 months, she heard the same thing every night. A woman crying. Not loudly, just a soft, broken sobbing, coming from apartment 4B. At first, Emily ignored it. She assumed the woman was going through something. But then the crying started at exactly 2:17 a.m. every single night. 2:17, not 2:16, not 2:18, exactly 2:17. One night, Emily finally knocked on the door. No answer. She knocked again. Nothing. Then she heard a woman's voice from inside. Please, help me. Emily froze. She immediately called the police. When they arrived, they knocked down the door. The apartment was empty. Completely empty. No furniture, no clothes, no food, not even dust on the floor. The police checked the building records. Apartment 4B had been vacant for 3 years. Emily laughed nervously. That's impossible. I hear her every night. The police officer looked at her strangely. Then he asked, Are you sure you're hearing it from 4B? Emily pointed at the wall. Right there. The officer walked into her apartment. He stood against the wall separating 4A from 4B. Then his expression changed, because behind Emily's bedroom wall, there was a small sealed doorway. The landlord had covered it years ago. The police opened it. Behind the wall was a narrow hidden hallway, and at the end of it was a tiny room. Inside was an old mattress, a broken lamp, photographs, hundreds of them, all pictures of Emily. Emily sleeping, Emily eating, Emily leaving for work, Emily standing in the shower room. Someone had been watching her for months. The police searched the building. They found nothing. No suspect, no fingerprints, no explanation. But that night, Emily refused to sleep. She sat on her bed with every light on. 2:16 a.m. She stared at the clock. 2:17. Then she heard it, the crying. But this time, it wasn't coming from apartment 4B. It was coming from inside her bedroom closet. Emily slowly turned her head. The closet door was slightly open. She grabbed a kitchen knife. Step by step, she approached it. She pulled the door open. Nothing. Just close. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Emily answered. For several seconds, there was silence. Then she heard a woman's trembling voice. Emily, don't turn around. Emily's blood went cold, because the voice sounded exactly like her. She slowly lowered the phone, and behind her, someone whispered, You finally heard me. Emily screamed and ran out of the apartment. The police searched every room. Nothing. No one was there. The next morning, Emily packed her bags. She decided she was leaving Chicago. Before leaving, she stopped by the building manager's office. She wanted one final answer. Who lived in apartment 4B before it was abandoned? Part 2 already in profile. She wanted one final answer. Who lived in apartment 4B before it was abandoned? The old manager stared at her. Then he quietly said, A woman named Emily Carter. Emily laughed. No, that's my name. The manager shook his head. Exactly. He pulled out an old tenant file. Inside was a photograph. Emily looked at it and stopped breathing. The woman in the photograph was her. Same face. Same eyes. Same scar above her eyebrow. But the photograph was dated 1998. 28 years earlier, the manager whispered. She disappeared from this building when she was 22. Emily stared at him. But I'm 28. The manager's face went pale. He slowly turned the photograph over. Written on the back were 5 words. She always comes back at 2:17. Emily looked at the clock. 2:16. The light suddenly went out. And from somewhere inside the building, a woman's voice began crying. 2:17. The manager grabbed Emily's arm. Run. But Emily didn't move, because she finally understood. The woman crying in apartment 4B wasn't a stranger. It was her. The Emily from 1998. The woman who had disappeared. The woman who had been trying to warn her. And the terrifying truth was, Emily hadn't moved into apartment for 6 months earlier. She had been living there for 28 years. She simply didn't remember. Then Emily looked into the office mirror. Her reflection smiled. Emily didn't. The reflection slowly raised one finger to its lips. Shh. And then the clock changed. 2:18. The crying stopped. The manager was gone. The office was empty. And Emily was standing alone, inside apartment 4B. The door slammed shut behind her. And on the wall, written in fresh red paint, were 4 words. See you next year, Emily. The end. Please for more.